I'm not going to allow biological men into women's private spaces.
Forcing this congressperson to go into a male restroom, is that dignity and respect? Speaker Johnson has said he wants to treat every new member with the words dignity and respect.
A man is a man, and a woman is a woman, and a man cannot become a woman.
Congresswoman Nancy Mace, I hope that one day I do find you in that women's bathroom and I grab...
So Congresswoman Nancy Mace from South Carolina has introduced a bill that prevents a man from using a woman's restroom in the Capitol. That's obviously my language of it, but as you guys can see on the screen, the legacy media is reporting it in what way? Republican introduces anti-transgender bathroom resolution at Capitol after first transgender woman elected to Congress, which happens to be Congresswoman-elect Sarah McBride. Now, the first clip I'm going to show you here is where ABC tries to debate Congresswoman Nancy Mace on the steps of the Capitol. Things get truly heated. Let's take a look at that right now.
Here she goes. Here's Congresswoman Mace. Congresswoman Mace, can I ask you a question as you walk here? So the question is, with your piece of legislation about banning women from using...
100% yes.
My question to you is...
It doesn't go far enough. I'll be filing more bills.
You have said that it was created in response to Congresswoman-elect McBride.
100%. And
but should legislation be created targeted at one specific person?
It doesn't mention anyone in the legislation, but
you've said it was aimed at her.
No, I have said it's a result of this. I'm not going to allow biological men into women's private spaces. I will stand in the brink and stand in the way of anyone on the radical left who thinks that it's okay for a penis to be in a women's locker room or a bathroom or a changing room. Hell no. I'm not going to stand for it. And the speaker said it would be in the House rules package. If it's not, I'll be ready with a motion, a privileged motion to force a vote on this. This is not okay. I'm a survivor of rape. I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. And I'm not going to allow any man in any female private spaces.
Now, Speaker,
end of story. And by the way, I'm getting death threats from men pretending to be women. Why is it that these crazy people, the insanity, the radical left, are willing to kill women over a man's right to be in a women's restroom?
Speaker Johnson has said he wants to treat every new member with the words dignity and respect. Forcing this congressperson to go into a male restroom, is that dignity and respect?
Forcing women to share private spaces with men is not dignity and not respect.
Okay, so listen, what she's saying is just all facts, okay? Number one, you should never allow a man into a woman's restroom, especially if you are the party who says you're all about protecting women's rights. No, what you're really about is allowing women to murder babies. Let's just call it what it is. Number two, is this bill everything about Sarah McBride? I mean, let's call it what it is. Of course it is, right? Sarah McBride is a transgender congressperson. That's exactly what's taking place here. And this bill wasn't brought up before the election. It's brought up after the fact. So, of course, to be fair with you guys, Nancy Mace is going to deny it, but it's politics, right? And I'm going to show you what Sarah McBride has to say later in this video, which is ludicrous. And number three, I mean, let's just be honest here. Conservatives and progressives are like the polar opposite, right? Progressives believe anybody can be anything. Shoot, I can identify as a carrot. I can say that I'm a woman today and go into a restroom. Who's going to stop me, right? That's what they truly believe in their heart of hearts. Conservatives do not believe that. It's called common sense, biology, and science, okay? Okay, so let's continue to play this clip because this reporter doesn't know when to stop.
I'm absolutely going to stand in the way of anyone who thinks it's okay for a man to be in our locker room, in our changing rooms, in our dressing rooms, in women's bathrooms. And in fact, if you agree with that, you're crazy because that's not okay. It's not okay.
Now, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson was asked about Congresswoman-elect Sarah McBride, asked about this transgender bill. Let's just say he fumbled the answer. Check this out.
Mr. Speaker, is freshman-elect Sarah McBride a man or a woman?
Look, I'm not going to get into this. We welcome all new members with open arms who are duly elected representatives of the people. I believe it's a command that we treat all persons with dignity and respect, and we will. And I'm not going to engage in silly debates about this. There's a concern about the uses of restroom facilities and locker rooms and all that. This is an issue that Congress has never had to address before, and we're going to do that in a deliberate fashion with member consensus on it, and we will accommodate the needs of every single person. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Do you plan on bringing Nancy Mace's transgender bill and putting that into the rules package?
I'm not going to address the plans on any of that. I just told you what I'm going to say about the issue. I'm not going to engage in this. We don't look down upon anyone. We treat everybody with dignity and respect. That's a principle that I've pursued my whole life, and we will take care of this, issue of first impression for Congress, as we will any other thing. We'll provide appropriate accommodation for every member of Congress.
Okay, so by all accounts, if you're a part of the MAGA movement, you're literally wanting to rip off Mike Johnson's head on this, because that answer was weak at best, right? Weak sauce. Look at the people standing around him. I mean, they're looking at him like, what are you doing, right? Can you please have a spine, right? Can you stand for something? Can you, he gave you the robotic answer, and this election has shown you, stop it with those answers, okay? Just tell us what it is, right? And we know Mike Johnson does not believe that Sarah McBride is a woman. Why not just nip it in the butt and let people know where you stand, right? Don't be in the middle like that. That's why he's catching all that heat. And it got so bad to the point where now he had to come out and clarify himself.
Hello, everybody. I just want to make a statement for all of you here and be very clear. I was asked a question this morning at the leadership gaggle, and I rejected the premise because the answer is so obvious. For anybody who doesn't know my well-established record on this issue, let me be unequivocally clear. A man is a man, and a woman is a woman, and a man cannot become a woman. That said, I also believe, that's what Scripture teaches, what I just said, but I also believe that we treat everybody with dignity. And so we can do and believe all those things at the same time. And I wanted to make that clear for everybody because there's lots of questions. But that's where I stand. I've stood there my whole life, and those are facts.
Okay, so before we go any further, if you're getting value from this video so far, do us a favor, like, share, and subscribe to this channel. If you want to support us further, go to the link in the description below, shop the merch store, or buy us a cup of coffee. Now, obviously, he caught a lot of heat, which is why he had to come back and clarify his comments. I think it's just utterly ridiculous that he even had to do that. He should have said that from the jump, but hey, that's a whole nother thing about Mike Johnson, right? You always have a question mark next to him, right? Because you don't know, are you going to give me the robotic answer, the political correct answer, or are you going to tell me exactly what it is? Now, let's get to Sarah McBride, because the whole point of this video is really centered around her or him, right? I mean, just having to talk about this is actually difficult because it defies logic, right? So I'm going to say Congresswoman-elect, but don't kill me for it, right? Here is everything you need to know about Congresswoman-elect Sarah McBride.
Let's be clear. The party that was focused on culture wars, the party that was focused on trans people, was the Republican Party. It was Donald Trump. It was the $100 million, $200 million that they spent on television ads. And so I think what we have to all recognize here is that when a politician tries to take an issue that impacts a handful of people in a handful of states and turn it into the most important issue in an election, everyone has to ask why. And the answer to that question is that Donald Trump was trying to divide and distract from the fact that he has absolutely no policy solutions for the issues that are actually keeping voters up at night.
Okay, wow, that is just great. Another ultra-left progressive who clearly believes in things that will ruin this country as we know it. And that is just unfortunate. I don't believe anybody who donated to that campaign or voted for this is really going to get a return on investment. That's just my own personal opinion. What about the opinions of people online? Let's take a look at that. All right, so obviously Dean Phillips put up a stupid post. He put pathetic. What are you scared of, Nancy? Question mark. Okay, whatever. Megyn Kelly fired back, which I really did love this response. What's pathetic about it, Dean Phillips? Women have a right to know when they go into a bathroom, no men will be in there. Why should members of Congress or female Hill staffers have to sacrifice this security so that men pretending to be women can feel better? That is a really good question. Megyn Kelly also writes, why should Nancy Mace or any other female member of Congress staff have to share this bathroom when a man pretend to be a woman? It's not about the feelings of the man squandering as a fake woman. It's about not forcing actual women to have to worry that a man is in their bathroom where they are vulnerable, and which is supposed to be a safe, private, female-only space. Duh. Members should stand up for women's rights and not be cowed by empty claims of bullying. Women are the ones being bullied into submission. Nancy Mace goes on to say, this is so strange to me. 25 years ago, I was celebrated as the first woman to graduate from a formerly all-male military college. Today, I'm being attacked as a bigot for fighting for women's rights. The radical left has lost its mind. Let's talk about that for a second, the word bigot, right? That you refuse to have an open mind and you're staying true to beliefs that you know that may be destructive to others. Clearly believing a man is a man and a woman is a woman is not destructive to people. What is destructive to people is me waking up one day and saying, I am a woman, and now I'm going to play in a woman's sports, and I'm going to hit the volleyball to the point it's going to hit another female player and it's going to knock her unconscious. That's destructive, okay? Or what about I am a man and I'm going to play in the Olympic boxing and I'm going to face a woman that I know I have an advantage over, especially when it comes to testosterone, and I'm going to knock her around silly. That is destructive. Or I'm going to make sure that the entire medical community updates its language and starts prescribing certain pills and green lighting surgeons to cut off things of our children. Yeah, that's destruction. So if there's anybody truly the bigot here or being destructive to our country, it's these people who are trying to pass the laws with this nonsense. Matt Walsh goes on to say, any Republican who doesn't support this measure should be shamed, humiliated, and voted out of office. This is as easy as it gets. McBride is a man in a dress. He does not belong in the woman's room. Every Republican must be on board, no exception. All right, so that's what a lot of conservatives had to say. But what about those unhinged progressives who go on TikTok and say some things that they should probably be arrested for? Here is this viral video of an individual threatening Congresswoman Nancy Mace.
This video goes out to Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, I hope that one day I do find you in that women's bathroom and I grab your ratty looking fucking hair and drag your face down to the floor while I repeatedly bash it in until... Thank you. I hope that Nancy Mace receives this message well. Kisses.
All right, clearly this person has a mental illness or has a good deal of hate in their heart, and hopefully the FBI pays them a visit or God speaks to them in a way that sets them straight. Now, my question for you, now wait a minute. We are supposed to be the ones that are weird, crazy, bigot, and all these other terms that they throw out. But when I see a video like I just showed you, I think that tells the full story of who's truly weird, who's really unhinged, who's really extreme, and who's really on the path to destruction in this country. Now, here's a question for you. Do you support Nancy Mace's bill to ban transgender women from women's restrooms? Meaning what? To prevent men from using a woman's restroom. I think it's common sense. 1 + 1 = 2. The sky is blue. All I'm trying to say is it shouldn't be this difficult. This shouldn't even be an issue. But when you've allowed the woke mind virus to spread like a disease, this is what happens. And the other disease that's really just as dangerous as the woke mind virus is Trump derangement syndrome, which there was an individual, unfortunately, a veteran, on CNN last night that got a reality check from Scott James because this guy was very unstable about Trump's mass deportation plans. And it's going to give you a clear picture of what the legacy media is trying to do in order to sow fear in the hearts of Americans in regards to mass deportation. If you guys want to take a look at that video, all you have to do is click on it because it's coming up right now.